Welcome to Beth Express, the solar biker here. Today we are talking clutch, how the clutch gets damaged, what you do to damage the clutch, and how to avoid that. Bike of choice being the Zontes J200. Stay with us. This is a typical clutch assembly. A few of our clients have had issues related to the clutch, and that's why this is a very important topic to address, so that we can discuss what causes issues with this clutch, how you can prevent it, and what you can do to better both your riding style and the handling of the bike to avoid damaging your clutch. So with me today I have a very special guest who happens to be the head of our service and maintenance department, Mr. Philip Gumba, who will take us through various issues. So Philip, karibu sana to Beth Express. Today we are discussing the clutch and discussing that regarding the J200, but I believe this is something that is common to bikes across the board. Would you tell us just a quick brief of how the clutch works?
Yeah, actually, it's better for us to understand how the clutch works. First of all, it's better we understand the components of the clutch. First of all, to start with, this is what we call the outer basket. This is what we call the outer basket of the clutch. Secondly, it is accompanied by what we call the inner hub of the clutch. Then after that, this is now what we call the pressure plate of the clutch. So when these two components diffuse together, we have a complete part like this, inclusive of the pressure steel and the pressure. We have the pressure plate and we have the steel plates. So when these two and all this that I've mentioned are put together, we have a complete component that looks like this. And now this is inclusive of the outer, the pressure plate, and the inner hub, the steel plates, and then they are fitted together into what we call the outer hub. In this process, as you can see now, we have a complete clutch. Now this is what now we hear people saying, this is now the clutch itself. This is the gear. It is connected, or the wheel, in other words, that meshes together with other gears in the engine, which is not part of what we're looking at today. Yes.
Thank you for that, Philip. Guys, as you have seen the different parts and how they come together, but most importantly, having now with some information on how the clutch works and how everything works together, maybe Philip, you can tell us, how do people get to a point that they've damaged the clutch? What do they exactly do to get us there?
Now, that's a good question, Philip. As you can see, first of all, we have what we call bad riding habits. That is one of them being, as you can see, what we call idling the clutch, where you put your hand on the clutch lever while riding the bike. In this process, what you're doing is you're creating, remember the function of the clutch is to separate the plates. While in this process, when you're idling the clutch, when you ride the bike with your hand or the mechanical, if I can say, the pressure you're exerting on the clutch lever, what you're doing is you're grinding these plates together while the bike is running. In that process, you're finishing. This is the plate that goes out. The tear and wear level goes high. That's why you hear guys saying, my clutch is worn out.
So finally, I believe that it's not the case that one should expect to have very frequent changes of the clutch. Because personally, from my experience, I have on one bike, probably now heading to the 30,000 kilometers mark, and I've not had any discolored oil, as you mentioned. I've not had issues with the picking of the bike. So I believe I can fairly confidently say that the clutch should last you a fairly long time. So maybe you could tell us, what should people do to make sure that their clutch actually lasts them that long?
That's a good question, Philip. What happens is, as you can see, what usually happens, people have this tendency of riding the bike while pressing the clutch lever. In the process, when you ride the bike, when pressing the clutch lever, you are you're creating friction on these two plates. That's what you're doing, and the engine is running. So in that process, what happens is you're creating what you call wear and tear of these plates you're seeing here, and also to some extent, you get to this. You can even burn the steel plates. That process, yes. Secondly, another problem we have with most riders is while riding the bike, you put your foot on the brake lever, okay? And in the process, what you're doing is you're straining the engine, so hence more tear and wear on the two plates, as I mentioned earlier, these two, yes. And sometimes it reaches to an extent, it goes even to the pressure plates, yeah. Then another, yes. Yeah, and also another main problem we have also is engagement, gear engagement. You find a rider riding the bike with the first gear on a hill, over revving. The bike needs you to exchange. In other words, to engage to a different, an elevated gear that can sustain that adjacent move, like in the hill. In the process, these two plates, you also burn in that. That's also another way of killing it. Another thing people have a problem with is starting the bike. You should start the bike in the first gear. Normally, that is what you need to do. But what people have this tendency of starting the bike on the second gear. That also kills the clutch. Yeah, that's also another problem with that.
So guys, as we always say here at Beth Express, if you don't know it, don't fix it. Look for someone qualified to help you sort out the issue. Until next time, see you.